Welcome to ACC Student News.
The news students can use. I'm Scarlett.
And I'm Jack. Here are this week's stories.
Several senior Ukrainian officials have been stepping down due to investigations of corruption within the Ukrainian government. The allegations come as Western allies are channeling billions of dollars to help Kiev fight against Moscow. Officials in several countries, including the U.S., have demanded more accountability for the aid given to Ukraine. According to the local media, the Deputy of Defense Minister resigned in connection with a scandal involving the purchase of food for Ukraine's armed forces. In total, 4 deputies and 5 governors of frontline provinces were set to leave their posts. These departures have thinned the ranks of an already diminished government by the deaths of the Interior Minister.
The U.S. is slated to send 31 of its top-ranked M1 Abrams tanks and support vehicles to Ukraine. Germany has agreed to send 14 Leopard 2A6 tanks, which are Europe's most sophisticated battle tank. Along with Germany, Poland and other European nations are going to send a number of their Leopard tanks to Ukraine. Both Abrams and Leopard tanks are considered to be superior to the Soviet-era tanks used by both Ukraine and Russia. They are faster, have more firepower, better targeting hardware, and provide increased protection to tank crews. Russia's response is to accuse the U.S. of direct involvement in the conflict.
The U.S. Department of Justice and a group of 8 states are suing Google, accusing them of illegally abusing a monopoly over the technology that powers online advertising. The lawsuit said Google has corrupted legitimate competition in the ad tech industry by engaging in a systematic campaign to seize control of the wide swath of high-tech tools used by publishers, advertisers, and brokers to facilitate digital advertising. This is the 5th antitrust lawsuit filed by the U.S. officials against Google since 2020. Previously, a group of states led by Texas filed an antitrust lawsuit against it involving advertising technology. They claim that it abused its dominance over online research.
A California boy loses his best friend during a cross-country trip, but strangers come to the rescue. The Huckabee family set to move from their California home to a home in Indiana. During their cross-country trip, the family stops for a break in New Mexico. The 2 adults got out to check under the hood of their truck, and their dog Sky took off. The family searched and called for her as they drove around the desert, and a relative started posting online asking for people to help find the boy's best friend. Less than a day later, someone found the dog with a collar on near around a church and took her to a local animal shelter, and rescue group made the connection to the boy's family. The boy and the dog had a special connection because he suffers from severe autism, and Sky has been with him for 4 years and had mothered and comforted him.
A Holocaust survivor has been swindled out of $2.8 million by a woman he met on a dating app. 36-year-old Peaches Sturgo had been arrested after federal authorities said she swindled a Holocaust survivor out of his money in a year-long scheme. The 2 of them met in a dating app 6 years ago. She was receiving nearly monthly checks in increments of around $50,000, telling the victim her bank needed more money or he would never get paid back. She forged documents and impersonated a bank employee in exchange for a life of fancy trips, Rolex watches, and luxury purchases.
Administrators are being sued after the shooting by a 6-year-old who shot his teacher. According to reports, the school was warned 3 times that the student was dangerous. One teacher said that she had searched the boy's bag because she heard that he had a gun. She didn't find it, but suggested he might have pocketed it when he went to recess. Administrators dismissed her, saying that the student couldn't have a gun because he has little pockets. Another teacher reported to administrators that the student had shown another child the gun and threatened to shoot him if he told on him. At the beginning of the same day, the teacher who was shot notified administrators that he was dangerous because he threatened to beat up another child. According to a family member, the boy was under a care plan that included the mother and father accompanying him to class every single day.
After 88 long years, White Castle is now being remodeled. Located in Whiting, Indiana on Indianapolis Boulevard, standing since 1935, stands a White Castle that is now being torn down and rebuilt into a newer and more current model of the fast food restaurant. The 88-year-old landmark is now being put to rest and turned into a new restaurant.
That's all we have for this week. I'm Jack.
And I'm Scarlett. Make sure to check out the rest of our videos
At ACC TV Hammond.
Cut.